Hi guys, so today we are taking a look at some new Plants vs Zombies 3 concept art that has appeared online. A link was sent to me by one of our fabulous Discord members, so thank you to PJ, and it was a link to Colin Riley's website. Now, Colin Riley is a designer and prototyper who's worked for a number of large companies and well-known games. This includes Microsoft, Amazon Game Studios, and between 2015 and 2018 was a senior UX designer at good old PopCap Games, working on Plants vs Zombies 3 and Bejeweled. Included on Riley's website are various showcase pages that discuss the work that was conducted at each company. The PopCap one includes some very interesting, never before seen PvZ3 concept art images. From checking internet archives, the page was saved 3 times in June of this year, so we can assume it's likely that's when this page was created. The introduction here explains Riley worked at PopCap for over 3 years and part of 5 different teams during that time. Anyway, let's talk about the images. So the most exciting one of the lot is this screenshot of a world map concept. Some of you may recognize this as earlier versions of this world map were posted online a few years back, but this one is much more developed. The fog has been given its lovely purple glow. There's a lot more detail in general, and we get to see the placement of the levels. I find it really interesting that this was such an awesome looking world map concept for PvZ3, yet fast forward to the most recent betas, we don't even have a world map anymore. Well, apart from Camp Dave, but it's not really the same thing. I really like how this concept illustrates the actual journey the player goes on, and presumably the levels would feature visuals present on this map. For example, perhaps in level 1-4 you come up against zombie spiders. Moving further down the page, Riley explains a bit more about the projects they worked on during their time at PopCap, followed by some user interface concept pieces. My first project at PopCap was to help develop a concept for the next iteration in the Plants vs Zombies franchise, built on a solid and modern mobile free-to-play foundation, adapting existing and beloved game mechanics to something that met the utility requirements of free-to-play design while also satisfying our own creative quality bar was a tall order. Our final concept and prototype was centered around a dynamic PvZ world full of game modes and quests, a customizable house and social neighborhood space, and bite-sized action-oriented gameplay. It didn't meet the bar, or it just wasn't Clash Royale, but I still believe this was a strong concept. Now, my favourite image of the 3 that I've just put on screen is of course the one featuring Postman Crazy Dave, who is actually called Seamus based on the image file name. What I also find interesting about all of these is that they are landscape. While the first version of PvZ3 ended up being portrait, it seems that continuing the landscape orientation was always on the table. The final piece of Plants vs Zombies 3 concept art image is a bit of a mind boggler, something so complicated they decided to call it a Complectagram. From Riley's description, these diagrams basically map out the entire game experience, from free-to-play mechanics, currency, systems, quests, resources, and everything in between. Essentially, it's just a visual representation of all the back-end systems that were going into the game. But as you can see, free-to-play games have a lot more going on than meets the eye. As well as Plants vs Zombies 3, the PopCap showcase ends with some concept art from a revamped version of Bejeweled Blitz. This project followed a similar structure to the PvZ3 one, and they also shared some very cool concept art. Anyway guys, that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below, but don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with everything PvZ.